In today's video, I am taking macro photos in the rain and having an absolutely lovely time. It has been raining all morning. On my drive up here, I was driving through thick rain, fog, spray kicking up from all the cars I was going past. And for most photographers, that would be such a bad sign. You'd be so disappointed that you've gone to the effort of packing up all your gear and coming out, and then find that you've got disgusting conditions. Certainly if I was here looking for landscapes, I'd feel pretty downhearted. But for macro, it's exactly what I want. I started my morning by exploring the area, hunting around in the wet undergrowth for anything that caught my eye. And I first noticed these couple of potential shots. This little mushroom covered in rainwater looked great, so I shot it with natural light at f2.3 and an 80th of a second. And then there are these sphagnum moss spores, which really caught my eye because of their bold red colour against that surrounding green. Again, looking great with those rain droplets. It is really starting to rain quite a lot harder though, so it's a hood up scenario. But I'm also going to start trying to look for things in a little bit more shelter. I'm in a bit of an open area right now. I'm getting very wet, but crucially, so is the camera I'm filming on. So I'm gonna try and find some places where I'm a little less in the direct rain. And at a certain point, if it does start getting even worse, then I'm just gonna have to put my things away because it just gets a bit reckless. Because yeah, it is the case that you can get some really beautiful macro shots in the rain, but you shouldn't try and do it at the expense of your gear. And of course, you can just make things much more pleasant for yourself. Waterproof coat, waterproof trousers, waterproof shoes. If you're coming out in the car, bring a change of trousers and a change of boots. Change of socks too. Because although I do quite like coming out and getting a little bit wet while I'm walking through forests, if I'm going to be out all day and then I've got a several hour drive to get home like I have today, I don't want to be sitting on the motorway in wet trousers with wet feet. The rain is slightly eased for a moment, which is lovely because I'm in a very exposed area, but I have found all of these really damp logs, and on them I found this lovely little family of pixie cup lichen growing in amongst some of these mosses. Now, as you can see, I've got my tripod splayed out. I've inverted the center column to allow me to get the camera as close to the ground as possible, so that I'm sort of shooting up at these pixie cups, because I think that's where the angle looks best. But I want to shoot this with a very shallow depth of field again, f2.8. I am at I'm at 80th of a second, ISO 100. But at f2.8, I'm definitely going to have to focus stack this. So I'm just going to go into my menu and turn on focus bracketing. And then the camera has rattled through all of those focus points. And so hopefully if I just go back through them, I can just double check that closest point is nice and in focus. And I do believe that it is. Yeah, I think that's a nice scene. Love the way it does look like a little family. We've got some of the larger pixie cups and then we've got a few of the small ones. So it is kind of like the parents out with the kids. I might be overthinking it. Either way, I quite like the shot. And then here we've got a lovely wild berry of some kind, and because of the rain, it's got a lovely sort of glistening thing where it's just catching some of the ambient light. I think it looks pretty nice. So we're going with just f2.8 again, because I want a lovely shallow depth of field here. I've focused manually on the closest part of the berry, 50th of a second, And had my mics not cut out, I'd be telling you at great length about the lovely patches of vibrant green wood sorrel here, which had been sprinkled with shining little crystals of rainwater. I brought my flash in here as I wanted those droplets to really light up, and I think the shot is quite nice as a result. And I continue to suffer with my lack of radio mic, so it again falls on future me to tell you about the beautiful tiny mushroom I had and how I used both my off-camera flash behind and to the left of the scene with a small spritz from a spray bottle of water to really emphasize that rainy day feel, and I love the result here. It is really hammering it down with rain now, so I have just come and sat on a log to take shelter just until some of the worst of it eases off, which it will do. But while I'm here, one little tip that I do have for a rainy day shoot is keep your camera under a plastic bag. Compostable, of course, we're not monsters. In between shoots, if you don't want to keep it in your bag, just popping a bag over it will just help keep the worst of the rain off, and then you just quickly whip it off when you're ready to shoot. Far cheaper than an actual rain cover. I've talked at length in some of my earlier macro videos just about the joy of macro photography, about that sense of zen and tranquility that you get by coming out and looking for these tiny photos. And to be quite honest, I think that I actually feel even more like that in bad conditions like this, in the rain. Because I think this is a day when it'd be so easy to just look out the window and see how bad it is, see all the rain coming down, see that low cloud and just think, ugh, no, I'm just going to stay at home with a cup of tea and a biscuit. Actually, now I've said that out loud, why aren't I at home with a cup of tea and a biscuit? No, I'm here. But it almost feels like this is nature at its best, and I feel even more connected to everything around me just because of all this rain coming down. I mean, can you hear? I don't know if you can. All the rain just hammering on the leaves above me. Like, when I sit at home and work at my desk, I've got Spotify playlists, which is just this sound, and here I am with the real thing. But then all the colours come to life. Everything smells better. The rain brings out all kinds of different smells in the air, and it's beautiful. Was it Wainwright that said there is no bad weather, only bad clothing? I think it was Wainwright. Either way, I would extend that philosophy to photography. There is no bad weather, only bad photos. And if you had looked out of your window today and seen the same weather and thought, oh, okay, I'm going to go and try and take some landscapes, well, then you're not going to have much luck, because this area is just full of low cloud. There are no views. All of the distant hills are completely shrouded, and everything just looks a little bit grim. But instead, everything is opened up to make it beautiful for macro. And that's why I think having macro skills is really, really great if you want to do general nature and outdoor photography, because it means that you're not limited to staying at home when the weather is bad like this. You can come out and simply change the type of photos you're going to get. Maybe on those beautiful days, you can take your landscapes, and then on days like this, you pop on your macro lens, you head into the forest and see about those close-up shots. That all being said, I don't think the rain is easing. And I've got to get home at some point, so I should probably make a move and get that cup of tea. Ooh, and maybe a bath. I actually made a new candle yesterday. It was lavender rosemary, and I put some lemon zest in it as well. Very relaxing, very soothing. I think I might have to put that on and have a bath for ultra relaxation. Don't know why I'm telling you all that. I'm definitely just killing time until the rain goes. And I'm almost certainly going to cut all this anyway. Alright, let's go. Rainy weather macro tip number 2. Macro involves a lot of getting down on the ground on your knees, and when the ground is wet, your trousers will get wet. So I brought just a couple of pieces of this bubble wrap. Pop them down on the ground, kneel on them. Keeps the water from your knees, and the padding makes it much more comfortable. I noticed that there's quite a whole bunch of little mushrooms all over this kind of little hillock of moss. But I noticed in particular these 3 standing together, and I just thought it might be worth trying to get a shot. Okay, just had to wipe down my lens, f14,
nice and close to the flash. Yeah, f14 does nothing for me. Let's go back to 2.8. Make sure my flash is at lowest power. I'm just going to let it pop from right over here, just to give that a little kick of light. That's much better. But as a result, I'm going to have to focus stack it. So we're going to zoom in and make sure I've got focus right on the tip of that mushroom. And then I'm going to go back in, change the focus, take a shot. I'm not going to get every bit in focus here, because I can't be bothered doing a full focus stack. I just want it to be enough that sort of the main bits are in focus. And you know what? I think that's fine. I think probably my last shot is this weird spiky seed head thing. It looks quite a lot like a sea urchin, weirdly. I tried it with the flash, it didn't really work for me, so I'm actually going with natural light, f2.8, a 13th of a second, and I've also turned on my focus bracketing so that it will take focus points throughout the whole of the thing. Hopefully I can stack them together and get a really cool looking shot, because I really like how this thing looks, and it's got all the water droplets clinging to it. So there we go, do my focus stack, and there's the shot. Anyway, hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have enjoyed it or found it helpful, do please make sure to hit that like button, and of course do consider subscribing to my channel if you don't already, and I will see you next time.